Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, Graham Stephan. No matter where you look, there are self-made millionaires in their 20s. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case for me. I didn't become a millionaire until I was in my 40s. And that was after like a ton of failures. Hey everyone, my name is Tim and welcome to my channel, Tim Talks Finance. And we're gonna talk about the story of how I went from homeless to millionaire in only 15 years. So my story begins back in 2001 when I left Albuquerque, New Mexico for a better opportunity, moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Now, at the time, I had nothing to my name except $600 in cash, a toothbrush and some toothpaste, and a suitcase full of clothes. So when I arrived at Phoenix, I was actually able to secure a $99 move-in special. See, most people don't know this, but I was heading for San Diego when I saw that sign in Phoenix that said $99 move-in, and I thought to myself, well, I can afford that. So I just moved in right then and there. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to afford a long-term lease, so I had to move every 6 months so I could capitalize on that free month of rent that they were giving out as an incentive. This process of moving in and out lasted for about 2 years before I decided to take a big risk. That's only gonna worsen my situation and actually ultimately cost me everything. Well, against the advice of my peers, I left the job in pursuit of a more lucrative career. Now, this is a horrible decision on the face, because shortly after, I was no longer able to afford rent and I had to live in my car for about 4 months, hopping from friend's couch to friend's couch, just so I could freshen up and take a shower. Then one day I was driving down the road and I saw this sign said, now hiring at the local Honda dealership, Showcase Honda. I interviewed with a manager and right away they gave me a job in the sales department. Now this was a commission only job, which was fine because I knew that I'm the only one that determined whether or not I succeeded or failed. The day came when I got my first commission check and I remember Tom Bias walking up to me and saying, Tim, here you go. And he hands me the check and he shakes my hand with his other hand. That check had 2 digits left of the comma. And back then, I had never seen anything like that. I thought I won the lottery, but no, it was actually my paycheck, my first commission check. So you can call it simple luck or an intervention of the higher power. But this definitely marked the beginning of a redemption story and it paved the way for my future success. You see, when I started the job at Showcase Honda, I had no idea how to sell a car. I put my head down and just worked as good as possible to improve my sales skill. And eventually I was able to impress management. And they moved me up from the sales department to the finance department because they thought I had really good ideas with my strategic financing that I would help customers do when they wanted to buy a certain car. Eventually I became the assistant finance director. But within a few years of working at the dealership, by 2006, I was burnt out and definitely ready for a change of pace. See, one thing that dealerships do to people who are working for them is they're open all the time. I mean, I sold cars 1 year on Thanksgiving Day. So the work hours are definitely not 40 hours a week. As a finance manager, you could be there till midnight and then have to show up at 6 o'clock in the morning for your next shift. I couldn't take that for much longer. So that led me to looking at all the applications that I had as a finance director of people who were applying for a car. And what I kept seeing is that people who were in the mortgage business were making a really good income. I talked to a guy one day and he said, I said, do you really make this much income? Can I see your pay stub? And sure enough, he pulled out his pay stub. It was real. And I thought to myself, you know, I would love to give mortgage business a try. I don't know anything about it, but I know a little bit about finance, and why not? I learned a little bit about sales. So even though I was making great money in the finance department, I decided to leave that dealership so I could become a mortgage broker, which would prove to be one of the best decisions of my life. Well, next to my wife, of course. Now, as of 2022, I'm a millionaire. I own a mortgage company. I regularly invest in real estate, but I'm not in my mid-20s like the other creators that I had mentioned. I'm actually in my mid-40s, and I didn't reach this level of success till a few years ago. But I'm definitely passionate about teaching others because I want to share my harsh story so that others can learn from my success and maybe most importantly, my failures. I discuss personal finance, business, investing, real estate, and much more on this channel. So click that subscribe button to learn what it truly takes to become a millionaire. Guys, thanks for watching.